when you're recommending someone, they're looking at house hacking, or they want to spend, or they want to go co-living, is how you would advise them just based on how much cash they have or how willing they are to move, or how would you advise someone into which section of which that they're going into?
A lot of it is like how okay they are being uncomfortable. Like in my book, I talk about this comfort continuum, where one side is comfort, the other side is profit, right? And so house hacking is very much in this play where you can have very little comfort and lots of profit. For example, my first property, I was living, on a futon behind a curtain in the living room, right? Like that's uncomfortable, but highly profitable. And as I got more properties, I moved towards the comfort end of that spectrum to now we've got our dream home on 10 acres and we still rent out our basement, right? Because we don't use it. It's just me and my wife right now. And so still kind of house hacking, but now, the rent not even comes close to covering our mortgage, but we're still getting something. And versus like really trying to like and I didn't run the numbers on this house. We just wanted the house. Right. And so there's like always kind of an element of house hacking as to where you can be. I think if you're young listening to this and especially if you're single, if you're young and single, there's no reason why you can't at least buy a 5 or 6 bedroom house, live in one room and rent out the others.
Yeah. And take away what could be your biggest expense.
Yeah. Likely your biggest expense. I mean, it's 90% of people's largest expense.
Yeah. I think it was Tony Robbins, man. I love the continuum, the comfort continuum. I think it was Tony Robbins who said that the amount of success that you'll achieve in your life is directly proportionate to the amount of uncertainty you can handle. It's kind of like it's a little differently worded, but I think that's what that kind of just what you just said it is a really cool way to say it, of success is on the other end of pushing through some of this comfort. And I can relate to the living aspect of things. So when you house hack, let's just say I came to you, and I think it'd be cool for you to kind of walk me through the journey of your book, walk me through the journey of kind of what you take people through through your agents. I'm young, I'm single, let's just say, and I want to house hack. How do you help me? Where do I get started? So take me through step 1, and then maybe take me through step 2 of like, I've closed on this house, and like, how am I going to look for members now? How am I going to fill these rooms?
For sure. So step 1 is, hey, you're young, you're single. I'm going to say, hey, and you got a good job. I'm going to assume that too. And so, hey, you can afford a $500,000 or $600,000 house in the Denver market. The best way, if you want the most cash flow that we're seeing right now, is to buy a 5, 6, 7, honestly, the more bedrooms, the better house. You live in one room and you can rent out the other rooms. And the best part is you can buy a $700,000 house for just $25,000. And so whether you got this $25,000, I'm going to assume they have the $25,000. And so, And so basically what we'll do is I'm going to go show you kind of the best neighborhoods. I'm going to show you the best areas. I'm going to show you how you can maybe, find a 4-bedroom house and add a few bedrooms based on the square footage and the layout. I'm going to show you how you maybe someday could split the house and have it upstairs, downstairs. So that way you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. It's just co-living. Because if that ever goes away for some reason, we want to make sure you're not forced to sell if it's a down market. And so we're going to run through all the scenarios. We can call, this co-living or rent by the room plan A. And then we'll have a plan B that hopefully at least makes you break even, and a plan C that also hopefully makes you break even. And we know exactly the house. We know exactly the neighborhood. Like we've just done it before so many times that we can just say, hey, here's the spot. This looks great. If it looks good to you, depending on how much work it needs. If they want something that needs more work, which I always advise against, then we'll allow them to buy something that needs more work. But again, I think the turnkey, nice looking, sexy properties are going to be a lot better.
Yeah. Suppose, Craig, I have 15K. Well, how would you advise me? I've got 15K. But my job is good. I just haven't done that well at saving. Or I've got 10K. What would you advise me then?
I would see if, number one, how are your parents doing? Do your parents have good income? Do they have a savings? Would they be willing to lend you $10,000 or $15,000 that you would then be able to pay them back? We've done that quite a bit. That is going to be the easiest way. Number two is you could partner with a friend or something like that. You guys could come in and split half season. I really don't advise that. I don't know. I hate house hacking is so easy to get into. It's like kind of painful to split it, in my opinion. And if they don't have parents that can support them or anybody, and the partnership thing doesn't work, I'd probably just say, whatever, like pinch your pennies and save pretty rigorously. If you can save $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month for the next 6 to 12 months, you'll be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. Ditch Starbucks and the avocado toast and you got it.
Yeah. Bike to work, Like if you're not going to your gym, cancel the membership. Just be a little bit more mindful, right? Stop drinking. There's a lot of things you can do.
It's full circle, back to the comfort continuum, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I've got this home. I pinched my pennies. Talk me through ways that you coach people on like filling the home. Like how do they do that? What do you teach people to look for in members? What advice do you have for people that are looking, that they're willing to live in one room, they're willing to push the comfort zone? Which I agree with you, man. I think it's just crazy that this strategy, and in real estate right now, you can get a 30-year fixed mortgage with 5% down or 3% down. And something I fairly recently learned was that even if you have 10 mortgages or 20 mortgages or 30 mortgages, you can actually always go get another primary residence loan. So I can always go get another 5% loan as long as I've lived in the last one for 1 year. So my wife and I make a habit to try to move once a year. We don't have kids right now, so we can do that because we can still do that with the number of properties. I think that's really, really cool. But what do you do? How do you coach people on filling that home?
Yeah, and this is the most crucial part that everyone is the most scared of, right? Is buying a house and not being able to fill it. So Facebook Marketplace has been our best use. So we put an ad on Facebook Marketplace. Back in the day, in 2018, 2017, you could put an ad on Facebook Marketplace and people would just flock to you. You'd have the room filled in 2 weeks. Not the case, at least in Denver today. So you can put an ad up and people will still come to you, and that's like one stream, right? But then there's also a tremendous amount of Facebook groups, probably 2 or 3 really active Facebook groups where people are posting about rooms to rent. People are posting about they're moving to Denver looking for a room to rent. And it's extremely crucial that you actually reach out to them and let them know about your space and your room. So those are the 2, I guess, our highest success rates. So yeah, number 1 is going to be that Facebook Marketplace ad. And number 2 is actually kind of being more like a hunter, right? And actually going to find the people rather being a farmer and just letting them come to you and just picking the seeds as they grow off, right? So you have to be a bit more aggressive about it than you used to. And that's 2 of the best ways. Some other ways that I think are like low-key hacks are we may have a listing that's really popular in a good location, but we filled the rooms. Leave that up. Leave that listing up. And when people are inquiring, be like, hey, this one's filled, unfortunately, but we got this other one over here that's actually nicer and a little bit cheaper. Is it okay if I send you a tour? And then we have a video and we go send them the video tour. And we've gotten a couple of people that way as well.
That's a great, great, great hack.